Welcome to the first episode of the Learn Game UX channel on YouTube, where we discuss how to design memorable and immersive game player experiences. Today we're going to talk about the importance of onboarding and tutorials in game user experience design. If you've ever played a new game and felt lost, confused, or frustrated, you understand just how important these components are in creating a positive gaming experience. Without them, players may become disengaged and ultimately abandon the game. However, designing effective onboarding and tutorial experiences is easier said than done. To create experiences that engage and retain players, game developers must understand the neuroscience and psychology of learning and engagement. Let's talk about the neuroscience of learning. The brain is wired to learn and adapt to new information, but it does so in specific ways. By understanding these mechanisms, game developers can design onboarding experiences that are optimized for learning. First is chunking. The brain is better at processing and retaining information when it's presented in smaller chunks. By breaking down complex game mechanics into smaller, more manageable pieces, game developers can make it easier for players to learn and remember. For example, in the game Celeste, players learn new abilities one at a time, gradually building up their skills and mastering each new move before moving on to the next. Repetition. The brain retains information better when it's repeated over time. By repeating key concepts and mechanics throughout the onboarding experience, game developers can help players internalize them more effectively. For example, in the game Dark Souls, players encounter similar enemies and obstacles repeatedly, reinforcing their understanding of how to overcome them. And lastly, context. The brain is better at learning and remembering information when it's presented in a meaningful context. By providing context and motivation for the actions players take during onboarding, game developers can make it easier for them to understand and remember. For example, in the game Horizon Zero Dawn, players learn about the game's world and story through the onboarding experience, giving them a sense of context and motivation for their actions. Next, let's talk about the psychology of engagement players experience through the game. Engagement is critical for creating a positive game experience, and understanding the psychology of engagement can help game developers design onboarding experiences that capture and maintain players' attention. First important topic is player goals. Humans are wired to pursue goals and experience a sense of accomplishment when they achieve them. By setting clear goals and objectives during onboarding, game developers can create a sense of purpose and engagement that keeps players invested. Next is autonomy. People are more engaged when they feel like they have control over their actions and choices. By providing opportunities for exploration and experimentation during onboarding, game developers can give players a sense of autonomy that keeps them engaged. And lastly, relevance. People are more engaged when they feel like the information they're learning is relevant and meaningful to them. By tying the onboarding experience to the game's story or theme, game developers can create a sense of relevance and engagement that keeps players interested. So, how can game developers apply these insights to the design of onboarding and tutorial experiences? Here are some of the important steps. Number 1. Break down complex mechanics into smaller chunks. Present information in a way that is easy for the brain to process and remember. Number 2. Repeat key concepts and mechanics over time. Reinforce learning by repeating information throughout the onboarding experience. Number 3. Provide context and motivation for actions. Help players understand why they're doing what they're doing and what they stand to gain from it. Number 4. Set clear goals and objectives. Create a sense of purpose and engagement by setting clear goals for players to achieve during onboarding. Number 5. Provide opportunities for exploration and experimentation. Give players a sense of autonomy and engagement by allowing them to explore the game mechanics and experiment with them. And number 6. Tie the onboarding experience to the game's story or theme. Create a sense of relevance and engagement by tying the onboarding experience to the game's story or theme. Onboarding and tutorials are critical components of game UX design, and understanding the neuroscience and psychology behind learning and engagement can help game developers create effective experiences. By breaking down complex information, repeating key concepts, providing context and motivation, setting clear goals, and providing autonomy and creating relevant experience in the game, can help players experience an immersive and memorable tutorials and onboarding in video games. Thanks for watching this episode of Learn Game UX. We hope you found our discussion on the importance of onboarding and tutorials in game UX design helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment below with your thoughts or any questions you may have. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.